What's up, everybody? It's Noah Wynn here with my co-host Trent Moore. We're at South Everett Speed Shop in the house that the boys built. What we're gonna get into tonight, Trent?
Man, we're going to talk about who we are and how we met, how we go back, and what we're doing here in the podcast and what we're getting into these days, or what we were getting into that brought us to this point
Right.
mainly. So to start with, I met Noah. Everything that we've gone through since we've been friends has had to do with a motor and four wheels, or two wheels, or a motor mainly.
Yeah, for
But
sure.
we started. His granddad and my granddad were friends, and his dad and my dad were friends. And then that's what got me and Noah to be friends. My dad brought me over one night to look at a pulling tractor that Noah had when I was just a little kid. I was probably like 5 or 6 years old. And from that night on, me and Noah become friends. I started pulling tractors, and we had some good times.
Yeah, I've still got that tractor. It's actually back behind.
You still got your original one?
Right back there behind the wall.
I ain't got my original one, but
we had some good times. And you were a little bitty fella back in the day.
I couldn't reach both the pedals, man. My dad would hold the clutch down. I put it to the floor, and he'd let go of the clutch for me.
Yeah, I think I've been the same height since 5th grade, but
I mean, I was tiny, but yeah, ever since I was about 6 years old. Noah would have probably been about 8.
Yeah, around 8.
Since we were young, and we instantly become friends and started doing stuff on tractor pulling on the weekends together. And like I said, our granddads were friends and dads, so we were always around each other.
Yeah,
always around each other. Then it moved up to Noah got a pulling truck. Tell us about that a little bit.
Yeah, so over at Chapanoke, close to Elizabeth City, North Carolina, they had a track then, and they were introducing the light 4-cylinder class, is what they were calling it, and basically Ford Ranger trucks with 2,300 motors, supposed to have a stock bottom end, do whatever you want to the head, hook it to the sled and run. And actually, they didn't want me to be able to participate in the class. They wanted you to have a driver's license. At the time when we got my truck, I was 12. But Mr. Steve Winslow over there, who owned the sled and helped Curtis put on the show, we had a great relationship with him, and he allowed me to pull, thankfully. And back then, that Ranger was doo-doo brown. You remember the doo-doo brown?
I remember it. It had multiple browns on it.
Had multiple. Blown head gasket when we got it. I think we gave a couple $100 for it. But you couldn't tell me nothing. I was tickled to death. That's when I first got my hands on getting into a 4-cylinder motor. Little did I know how much that would help us out later on down the road.
Yeah, both of us.
But I pulled that out there. We ended up getting it painted by Trent's dad. Awesome body man and paint guy, Mr. Tim Moore.
Got rid of the doo-doo brown.
And
that led to the name of the truck.
Yep, Born Again. But I had to go with that Hemi orange. Hemi orange on a Ford. Say what you want to say. But to me, at 13 years old, matching the same colors as General Lee, no, you couldn't tell me nothing. So you were still pulling tractors at the time.
I was still at tractors. Yeah, I was still on tractors. I was younger. You had moved up, and that's kind of kicked it off.
Yeah, so I pulled the truck from the time I was 12 until a couple years ago. We competed regularly. We probably pulled the truck for 10 years.
I think you had the truck. I think you were pulling I think you pulled 2 seasons when we started building our truck.
Mm-hmm.
And then we went in. And I had to do the same thing. Noah had an orange, and I had to pick a bright color too. So I had gecko green. You could not miss them 2 trucks from 10 miles away.
That truck's still around. It's still a strong competitor. They pull it out in Oak City.
It's for sale. I seen it on Facebook Marketplace the other week. Somebody sent it to me, and I seen it. Like I said, still same paint job, airbrushed on it. Mr. Mike Bennett did the airbrush work. He still does art and stuff. Has his own art studio.
He did his number on that truck.
He did. It was pretty. And Dad also painted that one. Him and Mr. David painted it. It was a pretty truck. It still is a pretty truck. Yeah. But we had fun moving up. It's just like anything. It got good to us. Had to move up. But that step going from tractors to the 4-cylinder trucks was
going from 12 horsepower to 200.
Yeah,
was a lot for us as youngins.
And it was fun, man. And like I said, at that age, it was fun. But then, like I said, 300 foot wasn't enough anymore. So that's when things kept evolving.
And I always wanted to race because I grew up out at Robertsonville.
Yeah.
Daddy had a couple of Pintos. They always ran 4-cylinders out there from the time I was little until I was big enough to have interest. And then he decided, all right, we got to do something different because I don't want my youngin out here running race cars unless doing body work every week.
But I grew up going to the drag strip more than I did the circle track. I spent a lot of time at the drag strip and loved the drag strip, but my pocket my pockets just weren't deep enough to go drag strip route. But I always knew. But I still love going to the drag strip, man, and enjoying drag race. But I don't know. I was probably like, I went to some asphalt circle track races when I was a kid here and there, and I enjoyed them. But I went to my first dirt race when I was like 13 or 14, and that shook my world. That was a whole nother.
Yeah,
that got me looking down a different path. Then that was
dirt's a whole different animal.
Yeah, we kept pulling my truck though after even I went to that race, and I knew that was kind of what I wanted to do. That was just a different element, and we were in the pulling world, and we had connects in the pulling world through you and your dad and all. So we just kept the pulling right. I ended up selling the pulling truck when I was 16. When I was 16, I sold it and actually went through a dry spell and didn't do anything from racing wise from about 16 to 20. We sold out, and me and dad didn't do anything that route. And then that was when me and you stayed friends and were doing stuff the whole time. Y'all had started the go-kart track here, and y'all were in my ear about getting a go-kart, and I broke bad and got it. Little did I know, I just scratched the itch just enough to
make it worse.
Yeah, make it worse. So.
And the go-karts, that actually started out as lawnmowers.
Yeah, it did. I was about to say that didn't last too long though. That got a little unsafe.
We'll save the creation of that for another day.
But, yeah, that'll make a whole video.
But I raced lawnmowers for a couple years while I was in college and didn't have enough money to do anything else, and was racing RC cars just to, like you say, scratch that itch a little bit of racing. That was a lot of fun. Met a lot of good people that carried over into the dirt world now. We're racing at county line, a lot of the same faces you see. So that was cool to walk in with some connections from running 10th scale cars. But moved on from that, got out of college, and got tired of flipping lawnmowers, so quit racing lawnmowers. It was just us and some buddies. I mean, you come out here and drove some.
Yeah, it was
a bunch of us on a low budget. The whole idea was spend not a lot of money and have a lot of fun. Yeah, and we did that for a while.
It wasn't organized. It wasn't what it is now. It was what you see the videos on YouTube of somebody in their backyard with a group of friends beating the fenders off each other. I mean, that's what it was.
Show up, hope that your mess held together long enough to do 15 laps, and then when it didn't, work on it until you could again.
Yeah.
So, but it was a lot of fun. Then we switched to go-karts, and I had gotten the first go-kart. I had been wanting one for a while, and ended up on Marketplace, found just a great deal, and got one. And I've actually got that same kart back now. I'm running it. We called it Goldfinger back in the day. Somebody had rattle can painted that thing gold.
I remember y'all saying that.
It was just as ugly. It's been sanded.
Know you had that back, but...
Yeah, that's the teal kart. That's the one that you drove.
Okay.
Yeah, you were driving the OG one. And somebody sanded it all down, powder coated it, went through a couple hands, and I ended up having a chance to buy it back. So I did. But tell us a little bit about your stint with the go-karts.
Well, y'all talked me into getting the go-kart, so I think I was 21, 22, somewhere around in there when I got the go-kart, and I bought an outdated chassis. I bought it specifically to run at Noah's track, so I knew I didn't have to have a fancy chassis or nothing crazy. I bought an older, outdated chassis on a good deal from Little David. And I went through it. Granddad sandblasted it. We painted it, redone the whole thing, and come out and was very competitive with it. And before long, Noah had built me a motor that we were competing in modified and winning some races. And I only think I ran 2 seasons, and once again, it got too good to me. And I wanted to scratch an itch I had always wanted to scratch ever since a little kid, and that was to have a race car. Just a full-on race car. And I got with Noah and asked him before I got it, how much would he be willing to help me at the track. And, I knew it wasn't just like buying a go-kart that I could just step up and buy a go-kart and go run. I knew I had to have guys behind me willing to support me and help me, do it. So after talking with him and my dad and everybody else that was willing to help me, I went the car route, and I've had 3 full seasons in the car, about to start my 4th season in the race car. So that's how we moved all the way up. And then I think I did the opposite effect. Noah and them dragged me into go-karts. And then I think it got too good to Noah going to the track with me. Yeah. And he had to scratch his itch. So now.
I had always wanted a car. I mean, grew up around it, wanted to do it. But I wanted to run asphalt, truthfully.
Yeah.
Seems to be a little bit cleaner racing, a little bit less tore up equipment. But something that scared me about asphalt is I want to run a 4-cylinder, and the Mini Stock Association around here, the motors you could buy a nice pickup truck for what they're spending on the motors.
Yeah, it didn't take me long browsing in the asphalt world to realize that wasn't a route I could go either.
And the tire bill on top of that, which this season was tough on tires, but the tire bill scared me because every time you go to the track, you need two new Hoosiers to help stick it. So that scared me. And Trent was doing dirt, so I figured let's race together. I ended up finding a deal, and I had bought a couple front wheel drive cars for cheap just to mess around with, and I have a good way of blowing stuff up on the road. Taking race cars on the road where they ain't got no business being.
Them test hits are lethal, bud.
Yeah. The S curve down the road from here has claimed a couple of them. So decided I was going to quit piddling around with that and actually get serious, get a race car. Got the car. I got it in your second season.
Yeah.
But then I found out I bought the race car. 4 days later, I found out Henry was on the way.
Yeah.
When I had my first youngin'.
Yeah.
And that changes things a little bit. I mean, I didn't sell the car or anything. I kept it. I'm still running that same car. But priority shifted a little bit. Had to take care of the family. And we still kept playing with the go-karts in the meantime. Yeah. And at this time, the go-kart scene around here had exploded. Yeah. It went from one little track in my yard to there was one 10 miles any direction you went.
4 different tracks you could run every weekend around here, go-karts.
So there was still plenty of racing to be done if you wanted to. But I like the short track stuff myself, and the other tracks are not quite the same as racing here to me. I think they're fun tracks, but I like that short.
I do too.
Less about the setup, more about turning the wheel.
Yep.
And putting it to the ground.
Same way in NASCAR, all the way up to me. I love a short track. I don't.
It just produces better racing, more passing. Go-kart racing is bad for you getting out there and it being a train race.
Yeah, nobody wants
just follow the leader, and ain't nobody studying that.
Everybody wants to see some good racing.
So, what really got me hooked though was, like you said, helping you that first season. I think I pulled the car to every race but.
Yeah, that first season.
Every race but one.
Every race but one. Yeah, we trailered. I trailered with you, and we went together. And like I said, we had fun that season at Halifax. Yeah. We missed Halifax being open. Wish we had 2 tracks now to run. Kind of bounce back and forth between. Yeah. Hopefully they get reopened or something happens there because we like going there. Look forward to going back if we can.
And the track surface there always has some character. If you wanted to go run on a glass track, that wasn't the place to run, but it was a good track. It put on good racing.
Yeah.
And it really required the driver to change with the track. You couldn't go out there with the same setup every week and think it was going to work.
Yeah, it wasn't the same track every week. And it was just, bottom line, it was a track that ran our class. And our class isn't your typical super stock 4 class. Like, is what more comparable to the mini stock on asphalt is around here. Us being in pure stock is a much more budget friendly entry level class for us. And nobody really, far as outside of right here, runs that class. Those were the only 2 tracks that really run our rules, so we miss having them. But yeah, that first season we ran there, and then my second season I ran county line mainly, but they did have 4 races at Halifax, or 3 races, a couple races. We made a couple and finished second on a couple of those races. Had some good close hard racing there that year. But now we're strictly down to county line, which if we run the full season, it's plenty of racing. We would just like to get to go play, at some different tracks. But I run a full 12 race season last year, and thankfully we made all the races, and that's big thanks to my sponsors and everybody helping me out, and definitely took a lot of work from everybody to make all 12 races. Yeah. That was our goal going in, was to be competitive and make all the races.
Yeah, that was my goal too. And you saw how that worked out.
It doesn't work. That was my goal the season before, and I had looked the same way. I mean, we were junking it, and we didn't make all of them and tore a bunch of stuff up early. And that can be the theme out there no matter how you enter the season sometimes.
Yeah, I got fooled right off the bat. I went out there for the first race. We had, a 27-car field?
Yeah.
First race of the year. I was scared to death. And went out there and just said, I'm just going to drive clean. I'll drive around in the back, and it'll be fine. I just want to go have fun. Get some feeling for the car. The car started feeling good, and everybody around me was wrecking, and I managed to miss most of it. And I crossed the strike 4th that night after Tech ended up 3rd.
Yeah.
So, I was spoiled right off the hit.
Oh, that was a good.
Went out there first time on the track and put it on the podium.
And we should have both been on. That was the one. You should have won that one. That was the one that got away from me. Yeah, I was second the whole race and got slammed on the last lap and got a tire cut, or with 2 laps to go. So didn't finish, got scored like ninth or something. But yeah, we should have won that race. Definitely a podium finish for sure. But yeah, that would have been a great night for both of us. But yeah, the season got rougher for you as it went on from there.
Yeah,
for sure.
I finished the first race third, and I didn't finish another race all season. Whether it was overheating or cutting a tire or it was something,
getting tangled,
every single race.
It can seem that way when it rains, it pours in racing. Everybody knows that it can be very discouraging. Yep. That's what I say. You see people have a discouraging night at the track like that, whether it's go karts or cars, and they keep coming back. It takes a lot, I mean, racers. Some people go out there and race a season or two, but then that's it. To keep coming back, yeah, I mean, because it's a lot of highs and lows in racing, but God, it feels like a lot more lows. Yeah.
And I had put together several what should have been definitely top 10s, possibly top 5 runs.
And something happened at the end.
And something happened at the end, overheated. I popped the bottom end running 7th or so one night, had good speed that night, and Rod Bolt decided to let go on me. So that put me down for a few weeks.
Because I gave you a new drain plug.
Yeah, a couple of them.
Yeah.
Did the old delete kit. So pieced together a junk bottom end, basically, that was here at the house, just to get back out there and get some more seat time, finish out the season. And made it one race with that and threw a blade off of the fan on the front of the motor. Could not figure out why it was shaking so bad. A steel fan that threw a blade off of it somehow. So that ended my night that night because I didn't figure it out at the track. I was looking in all the wrong places for my vibration. I thought the transmission was doing something.
It's not a normal look.
Not somewhere you normally look for that. And got that fixed and made it back for the last race of the year. And finished that other bottom end off pretty good. What they say? Throw it as far as the east is from the west. That's what we did to that bottom end. Threw it just as far apart from each other as it could go.
There's still a piece of it somewhere out there in that clay.
The Fabulate is too, I reckon.
But that's where we are now. Finishing up this race season is going in with 2 cars, going into 2026, looking to be more consistent for both of us. Definitely. I mean, even though I had some good nights last year and I felt to be consistent, I want to be more consistent this year, more consistent up front,
and hoping to add the addition of a 3rd car with James Holiday.
Yeah,
we got him. James, we got him a roller, and we got a lot of work to do.
My main thing this year is I would love to do great in points. I want to be consistent now again, but I got to find victory lane. I got to get in there. Once I get this first one knocked out, I feel like I'll be good. And I mean, I've been there multiple times. Had it right there. Just things didn't line up for me, and different things happen. But that's racing. But I really want to find it this year and get on the right track.
County line's not an easy place to win
God, it's not
especially in our class.
25 to 30 every single week.
Yeah, I think we average right at 25 a race.
And the top 10 is then a couple tenths of each other. I mean, the top 10 cars are all fast stuff. But a chip draw doesn't help us out there a lot at all either. We'll get a chip draw and have to start in the back of a heat race. But
you got 3 laps to hold on for dear life.
Yeah,
and hope that you don't tear it up.
Like I said, so we've came up through the years, but something me and Noah have always talked about was we admired how Dale Jr. did more for racing than just race. Absolutely. And we always wanted to be able to, whether it was do a podcast or vlog our videos, our race days, and let people see what we see from the inside, or whether it's be a flag in the flag stand, or whether it's run your own go-kart track. We want to do other things other than just race for the race community. We enjoy all aspects of the track, how tracks are ran, But with that being said, we want to take this podcast to the next level and start being consistent with it and doing what we've always talked about. We dreamed from kids about having race cars, but not long after we got into racing, we dreamed about doing more for the sport and being able to distribute what we've learned or what we see and what we do, but not only that, bring other people in and get to talk to them about the sport and get to talk to them about their experience. So we're looking forward to getting things on to the next level, with the studio and having some guest appearances and feature videos and getting the ball really moving on the video side of things. We've been racing for a while and been saying we want to do it, but that also includes some race day vlogs this year.
Yeah.
Going to the track with us, being in the pit with me, with also being in the pit with Noah, covering my car, his car, some in-camera footage and all being on the same channel. So it won't just be, one aspect of it. You'll get to see a lot of the sport. from different angles
and different aspects of the sport as well. Because
yeah,
motorsports is such a vast array of different venues.
yeah, and we love all of them.
We do.
And
we
not
do.
just
The only race I don't like is a race that gets rained out.
that's
So
that's right.
we're gonna cover some footage out here at our go kart track. Trent does a lot of the flagging. I turn marshal and get everybody lined up. And we try and give
Noah's the good race director.
We try and give youngins that are 5, 6, 7 years old that real race experience and light a spark in them, like we had lit in us. We want to see passion put into the sport, and we want to see the sport continue to grow and to do well. And it's hard because it costs a lot of money.
It does.
You got to make sacrifices. If you're in motorsports, you got to cut out in other areas or either be rich. And 99% of people in motorsports are not rich.
No.
So, but I hope that gives y'all a little bit of background knowledge about who we are and what we do. And I hope that we can make some good content for y'all and keep y'all coming back to see what a couple rednecks are doing on a weekend basis.
Like I said, this makes 20 years me and Noah have been friends.
Close
friends.
Yeah.
So we've always wanted to do this, and we're excited about making videos. And like I said, letting y'all get to know us better and see the inside of the pits and inside of the race shop, and get to hear some stuff from some other racers, like you just said, some different perspectives and all. And we're looking forward to it. And like I said, it's only going to get better from here. So,
well, that's all we got for today.
That'll be it. We'll see y'all next week.
Appreciate it.
See y'all.